Okay, first things first, I'm sorry, it's been longer than I expected between videos, but there is a reason. I had 3 games set up and I had a hard drive crash. I was looking forward to doing them, but look, we're not going to dwell. We're here to drown our sorrows around 1,000 years in the future because it's Horizon Forbidden West time, baby. I adored the first game, I've lost hours of my life to it, and it's definitely worth platinum if you haven't already. Plus, if you've got PlayStation Now, it's on there at the time of this recording, at least in the UK, for free. Well, not free, you have to pay for the subscription. I have to bring up the first one, as Horizon Forbidden West continues Aloy's journey straight off from basically the end of Horizon Zero Dawn, so you kinda have to play this one. Well, the first one, in order to be able to play this one. It's a risky move these days, but nah, I'm all for it, man. So you know from the title of the video already, this is another godforsaken bad trophy list. So, if that's all you're here for, by all means, skip to this particular timestamp that's on the screen here, and for the rest of us, I'm going to really quickly explain the story of Horizon Forbidden West, just so you know, people can get an idea of what they're in for. So, it's around 6 months that have passed since we completely fucked up Hades in Zero Dawn, but there's no rest for the wicked. Aloy now has the small, menial task of rebooting the entire planet, as this red stuff here, this stuff, seems to be taking over the world. Like War of the Worlds, just with more machines, I guess. We need a backup of Gaia, and doing that just so happens to be the easy part. You see, Gaia is a super cool AI, you know, think of like Siri or something like that. But it seems to use the EA model when it comes to her DLC. Locked away, and behind God knows what, are the rest of the sub-functions that we have to get. There's Poseidon, Demeter, Minerva, Aether, and the black sheep of the family that no one really talks about. That's Hephaestus.
Its expansion has been rampant.
That's all that stands between Aloy and getting her Gaia product keys activated. That's literally it. That's the game. There is a problem though. These dudes want to reboot the planet. These dudes are bad, and these dudes are invincible, which I personally feel is a tad unfair, but I mean, what do I know? I'm not from the future. Obviously, as we're discussing trophies, there are going to be some minor spoilers, but for the sake of not ruining the story, because it is an amazing story, I'm going to leave the plot stuff there. We sort of get the gist of what we have to do. So let's move on to the trophies. This game's platinum might be one of the easiest I've gotten, and that's saying something considering I've played the likes of Spider-Man, Miles Morales, The Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, that kind of thing. These trophies, despite being called the worst trophies, should really be called the laziest trophies, as that's what we're looking at. Look, absolutely no thought went into this trophy list on their half, not my half. I had to probably do more digging through their trophy list than they did. And using the 5 worst trophy list format that I've become accustomed to, I'm going to prove it to you that it is a lazy trophy list. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 5 worst trophies in Horizon Forbidden West.
Come on! Quit screwing around!
As always, people, this list is in no particular order, but we do try and save the worst for last. Our worst for today is a little more interesting, but we're not there yet. We're only at the beginning. So, we begin with recovered 5 different collectibles. Obviously, this is not a hard thing to do. It does require you to collect specific different collectibles. That being 1 survey drone, 1 black box, 1 relic rune, 1 vista point, and 1 signal tower. So basically, it wants you to get at least 1 of each collectible set. Now, what's the problem with that? There are 49 collectibles in Forbidden West. That is not a lot. They're all unique, all kind of interesting, and all with no incentive to do them other than story. Now, I don't know about you, but I truly believe platinum trophies should be a feat to get. I don't think it's asking too much for you to have to get all the collectibles to unlock a trophy, not just 1 from each set. I mean, take the relic ruins alone. There are 9 of them, and they all have some sort of puzzle behind them to get in there. They're actually fun. I completed them, although I don't see the bloody point, seeing as I'd already got my reward after getting the first one. When I said this trophy list was lazy, this is what I meant. How about 1 bronze trophy for getting the first one, as like a hey, well done, now go get the rest. Then maybe gold or silver trophies can come into play for completing all of them. I mean, this is a personal thing, but you need to incentivize me to actually want to play the parts of the game that are lovingly created. I'm one of those sad people that won't even play a game if there aren't any trophies. I like to have something to show for my time, so I don't feel like it's completely wasted. Am I asking for too much? Or am I right in thinking it was just too easy?
What is this? What is happening here? Get over here.
Next, we're gonna get like all documentarian. We need to scan all the machine types that are in the game, And using our handy dandy focus, which is actually good and provides some function, which means it probably runs on Android, don't at me iPhone fanboys and girls, all in all, there are 43 machines to scan. Sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. You'll get the majority of these just playing the game, assuming that you're using the focus to look at the machine's weak points and things like that. So, why is it on the list then? Well, the easy answer is because if you're not careful, this trophy can be absolute bullshit. Okay, serious note now. If you haven't played the game, skip to the next trophy, because I'm about to get all spoilery, and it's not going to be fun if you haven't played the game. Towards the end of the game, you'll come across two machine types, one being the Spectre and the other being the Spectre Prime. That's like Amazon. Now, one of these machines only appears in quests and right at the very end of the game, that being the Spectre Prime. You have to scan this machine to get the trophy. If you didn't scan it, then, well, looks like you're playing the entire game again, because you cannot replay main story missions, so once it's gone, well, it's gone. That makes this a missable trophy, and surely by now you know my opinion on missable trophies. I hate them as a point of principle, but when they're as bullshitty as these ones, then, well, I really hate them then. It's really stupid too, because none of the other collectibles or trophies or anything in this game are missable, and I can't help but believe that it could have been an oversight, or did Guerrilla Games do this on purpose just to be that guy? I don't know, you tell me. All Cause Overridden comes next, and I'm sure you could probably guess what you're supposed to do with this one. On a side note, and as another part of this laziness that I'm trying to get across, none of the trophies have cool names. They literally just tell you what to do in the title. This isn't a deal breaker, obviously, but it just adds to my theory that the trophy list was nothing more than a side thought, probably forgotten until like 1 or 2 days before the release. Anyway, back to the trophy. So yes, obviously All Cause Overridden has us do just that. Cores are the centre of cauldrons. Now, the problem that I have with this trophy is that I distinctly remember enjoying the cauldrons from the original game. I was happy when I saw them come back, but it was short-lived as I was constantly finding myself underwhelmed or just straight lost. I didn't know where to go next in a lot of them. This might be a me thing, and I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments if it is, but they seemed really poorly designed, all of them. Not visually, they looked amazing. I dare say better than the first game, which is to be expected really, but on more than one occasion I just found myself completely lost for what to do next and just aimlessly wandering around. There's lots of open space to wander about in, and you'll actually be looking for small yellow ledges somewhere, more than likely anyway. You'd think that it'd stick out and be really obvious, but well, it's just not. Oh, and that's another thing, the controls of Aloy can be at best described as drunk stumbling around, so when it comes to having to do really finicky jumps, or worse still, timed jumps, you'll find yourself missing and falling all the way back to the bottom and having to start again. This trophy is on the list because of my sheer disappointment at the cauldrons in general, and the fact that entering one of these cauldrons made me on multiple occasions just end my gaming session for the day, because I just simply couldn't be bothered with the hassle. If you're going to have areas like that require pinpoint timing and accuracy with some jumps, then you really have to have the controls perfected. I might be the only one that didn't enjoy the cauldrons, but from looking around, I know I wasn't the only one who had issues with the controls, something that we will get onto again a little bit later. Okay then, by show of hands, who likes board games? Okay, I see 1 or 2 of you interested. You know who else like board games? Game developers. From games like Witcher 3 and their really superbly crafted Gwent, all the way to games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and its surprisingly good Orlog dice game thing. It seems these days you are not allowed to release an open world RPG without dedicating a significant amount of your game development time to designing games within games. Forbidden West is absolutely no different. It features a pretty decent board game called Machine Strike. That is, I suppose, the 3000 AD equivalent of Pokemon, the trading card game. It's a game that you'll have to at least learn the basics of if you want to platinum, as there is a trophy tied to it. The problem is, you'll probably never progress past the basics of the game, and it's a really quite in-depth game, and that is unless you're really drawn into it. The trophy sounds like it'd have you playing a lot of this game, defeat Machine Strike challenges. Again, no creative name, but still, I'm invested. Let's go complete the collection so that we're unstoppable in Machine Strike. That way we'll have no problem taking out the challenges. What's that? Just let me zoom in on that. Okay. I only have to beat 2? Again with the laziness, I know not everyone will be into it, but come on, at least have us beat say one of each difficulty challenger, but nah, just beat any random 2 challenges. That is a minimum of 3 games that you'll have to play, assuming that you never lose. The tutorial game doesn't count towards the trophy, so we don't really include that one. This is a trophy that on the surface sounds like you'd have to put a significant amount of time and effort and dedication into learning the game. I'm thinking about the Gwent trophy mainly when I think about that, the one that has you collect all the decks or something along those lines. Yeah, you know what I mean. But no, this trophy could literally be completed in around 15 minutes, maybe even less. 2 challenges. I cannot get over the laziness of this trophy list. I mean, what next? Walk in and out of a door? Who made this? Sack them. I mean, sack them right now, but do it in a really lame way. So we've reached the final one, the last and worst trophy of the game, and it's time to get a little bit controversial. Forbidden West is no doubt a fantastic game that you're going to lose hours of your time to. Okay, there is no doubt. Aloy, on the other hand, controls like absolute shit. The controls of Forbidden West and Aloy in general are slack at best. I know for an absolute fact that I'm not the only one who thinks this. I do have to keep reminding you that I love the game. It's just pure bliss to play, and I don't have anything bad to say about the game in general. That's just because the goods massively outweigh the bads. I can get over the controls because of the scenery. But then this trophy rears its ugly head. Won 2 Gauntlet races. Now, if you think that Aloy is hard to control on foot, then oh boy. You wait until you get her on a mount. And I'm talking about the walkie mounts, not the flying ones. They seem to be, alright, pretty decent, I guess. Gauntlet runs are races that you unlock as you progress through the respective storyline. There are a total of 4 Gauntlet races in the game, and this trophy asks us to complete 2 of them. The laziness that, no, I will not get over, works in our favour here. Having to only technically complete 50% of this side quest for the trophy is what I can only describe as an absolute mercy. The mounts in this game have some form of shared brain damage that makes them control like 18-wheelers with no tyres in really tight corridors, but when you actually have to race with them, it gets a whole lot more tedious. Full disclosure, I actually got moderately lucky with these races, as my mount, I lovingly named him Larry, I don't know if it's a man, he played ball, and we got this trophy with minimum strain. But looking around online and researching and choosing these trophies, I saw a lot of people having problems with either this trophy or the Gauntlet runs in general, or just controlling Aloy while she's on a mount. Like I say, while I do try and save the worst till last, I wouldn't say this trophy is any worse or better than any of the others on the list. If you struggle with this trophy, just persevere. You will eventually get lucky, and you do have to get lucky for this trophy. So, there's another bad trophy list complete. And at this point, what can I say about Forbidden West that hasn't already been said? Is the Platinum Trophy worth getting? Absolutely. You'd be mad not to get this trophy, it's so easy. That is whether you're a Platinum Hunter or just somebody who wants to experience the wilds of Earth in around 1,000 years' time. It's looking a lot more like it'll be a nuclear wasteland at this point, not an AI thing, but hey, we can ponder the possibilities. Jokes aside, yes, you should be playing this game to its absolute completion. I loved the first game, I really couldn't wait to play this one once it released, and yeah, sure, I was disappointed by some aspects of the game like I already mentioned, but there's just too many positives to really throw any major shade on this. As always, my name is Oddsock. This has been the 6 worst trophies in Horizon Forbidden West, and if this is your deal, collecting trophies and listening to, aging people moan about it on the internet, then please do subscribe. Leave a like if you liked the video, a dislike if you didn't like the video. Either way, as always, don't leave without making your mark on the internet. I will see you in the next one, which I promise you will be a lot sooner because, no crashes this time. And I wish you all the luck in the world. Adios, amigo.